Sun coming up on the earth, open up strong and we learn.
Hey, it's Isaiah from the Inner Health Foundation. Welcome. I want to talk today about something I learned from Ido Portal recently. There's an interview with Brian Rose from London Real. I'll put a link at the bottom. A great interview where Ido talks about zone 1, zone 2, zone 3 activities. For him, he's talking about movement. It could be applied to business, to relationships, to anything in your life. And the concept basically is, zone 1 activities when you're beginning to do something. You have a concept in mind and you want to start to apply it and make it real in your life. For example, in a movement, it can be extremely difficult. Um, and but nonetheless, if you just do it, it opens up that neurological pathway. And there's a study they've done with two guys. One, they both are learning to juggle it took about 3 weeks to learn to juggle. One is juggling beautifully, the other one didn't. When they studied the brain after that 3 week period, the MRIs show the same neurological growth for both people, even though one didn't learn how to do it. So, what matters most is that you're devoting yourself to that zone 1 activity, or what you might call beginner's mind. You want to be in that state where you're entering into that phase where you're being challenged, you're struggling, and you're learning to stay present. And I wish for myself that I learned that when I was younger, because when I used to face things that were extremely challenging, I would just give up or resort towards something that was more comfortable, something I felt like I could do really well. And I think I didn't grow nearly as much as I could have, or as quickly, if I had just applied that principle. If I'd been able to be comfortable and developed an ability to be present with myself in that moment of struggle and see it for what it really is, which is a moment of growth and an opportunity to really increase my capacity neurologically, emotionally, psychologically, and physically, then I can take that opportunity and turn it into a blessing and a growth phase. So I think that in terms of movement and in terms of really anything in our lives, that's where we want to place the emphasis, and that's where we want to stay focused, is in that zone 1 activity. Zone 2 is more, you're on your way, you haven't mastered it, but you've definitely become proficient at it. And then, you're still growing in the activity, you're still processing and learning and being challenged, but it's not nearly as much as the first stage. So you get benefit neurologically, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, but not as much. So of course you keep practicing that, and eventually you end up in zone 3, which is some level of mastery. And mastery is amazing. That's what we're working for. And it's what we would use to maintain ourselves in whatever practice or whatever you're focusing on, a movement pattern, a business, a relationship. That's allowing you an opportunity to maintain the high functioning quality. As the practice of it allows you to be in a maintenance phase. But so you obviously you want to do things that you're masterful at, but you also want to continue to focus on finding movement patterns, activities, relationships, opportunities that make you struggle. Because if you can't connect with yourself physically through a certain range of motion, you're not linked up in that place, and that place of your consciousness is disconnected as well. So the highest, or the fast track to expanding your consciousness really is in your body, and it's going to come through getting in touch with that discomfort, staying connected with yourself as you move through it, and through engaging with yourself in that place of disconnection, then you grow your availability, your access to consciousness, and your ability to express your consciousness as well. It's always a pleasure to be able to offer some information, ideas, and insights your way. I appreciate you all, and I thank you for sharing this day with me.